Hello, my dear Virgo. Welcome to Mind, Body, and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for the month of July. It is a little bit late, but yeah, there's still a lot left of July. You can see already it started quite intensely. So yeah, let's just get on with it. I pre-shuffled your cards. So this is a reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates, and if it doesn't, then it's just not your reading. You can tell, you will be able to tell. And yeah, just take the messages that do resonate. Don't try to make it fit in, because that's not the point, right? Right. So let's see. What do we have for Virgo? Sun, Moon, and Rising sign for the month of July 2019. Okay, what do we have? So here we go. We start with the Queen of Pentacles. I hope you can see it. I'm doing this reading at candlelight. Okay, what else do we have for Virgo? Okay, the Knight of Wands just popped out. Beautiful. Okay, oops. All right. So the Magician turned around, and what is it that we have here? Well, there you go. It's your card, the Hermit, Virgo. And let's see, what do we have at the bottom of the deck? We have the Six of Swords. Beautiful. So the Six of Swords is your underlying energy. Okay, before we even start talking about this, let's just pull out the clarifiers for these cards. I prefer to read them together. I always kind of read the energies as a dynamic of energies. Okay, so we have the Devil for the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, I'm really not sure if you can see this. Okay, that's the underlying. All right, what else do we have? What do we have for the Knight of Wands? What do we have for the Knight of Wands? Okay, something turned here. It's the Nine of Cups. Beautiful. Oops, sorry about that. All right, what do we have for the Magician? What do we have for the Magician? What is the Magician here? Okay, no, they're not really turning. Okay, so what is the energy coming along with the Magician? Funny, when I pre-shuffled your cards, they were constantly turning around. Alright, so we have Death coming with the Magician. How interesting. And, alright, the Knight of Pentacles came with the Hermit. And these two jumped as well, and I think I'm going to read them. They somehow feel separate though. They don't come with the rest of the story, so I'm just going to put them here for now. And I'll see where they pop in. I feel like they're popping at some point in the story. Probably actually at the end of the story. And the Six of Swords comes with the Ten of Wands. I'm sorry about this. Okay, I'm gonna try to light up another candle, see if this helps. do this. Alright. Alright, so we have more light now, sort to say. Another way would also be to just bring these ones here. Spread them out a little bit. Sorry guys, all these technical problems. Alright, I think we can see more or less this devil really stays hidden into the shadow, right? Okay, so let's start with the underlying energy here. The underlying energy of the Six of Swords and the Nine of Wands, the Ten of Wands, yes. The Six of Swords is the card of moving on. And it's important to understand that it's moving on from a thinking pattern, something that, a way of thinking that wasn't healthy for us. And it's obviously why it wasn't healthy. I mean, like, you have this Ten of Wands here. It shows it's like reaching the end of a cycle, but it's a cycle that obviously becomes really heavy on you. You know, it's when the spiritual life, or when you're, whatever it is that you're really passionate about, whatever it is that gave you vitality and energy and allowed you to feel engaged in that way, now became heavy, and you're obviously overwhelmed, and probably you're moving on from the situation right now, from either from feeling overwhelmed from something, because in many ways we feel certain way about something based on how we think about that situation. For example, say today is raining and I can think like, oh no, it's raining, I don't want to rain, I just want to go out and have a picnic or something, and it's terrible that it's raining, I feel horrible, I feel so like the universe against me or whatever. Or I can think like, oh, it's raining, that's great, it's a great opportunity for me to do different kind of activities, maybe indoors. Or it's also great for the planet, you know, we have droughts and stuff, it's good to have some rain, that sort of stuff. Like, it's just an example of how we can look differently and think differently about exactly the same situation. So with this Six of Swords here, I feel like it's more like you're feeling overwhelmed more than it is that you're actually being overwhelmed. It is under your control how much you are dedicated in terms of time and energy to activities in your life, or the situations and the dynamics in your life. And yeah, it's making this journey outside of a particular thinking pattern that is going to change this situation. And yeah, this is your underlying energy, this is what you're working with, this is what your journey is about this month, is learning how to get there. And where are you right now in terms of your current energy? You're here in the Queen of Pentacles and the Devil, which is a quite an interesting combination, I would say. This light is really not helping. How about that? Maybe it's better. All right, so having the Queen of Pentacles with the Devil, I think you're being caught in between nurturing and trying to be kind and being a really, really good person by taking care of others and yourself, and caught into the shadow side of that, which that sometimes we can give too much, or sometimes we don't know when to stop, even with the self-care. Okay, here I am, I'm taking a bath and I'm taking care of my body and I'm eating these healthy foods, but sometimes we can go extreme with that stuff and feel unbalanced, feels like it's not really helping us any longer, you know. If I take every day 3 hours baths, then I probably don't know what to how to integrate that in the rest of my day. And if I'm a little bit too extreme with the food that I eat, I can create a lot of um, I can create a lot of inner dynamics between what's allowed and what's not allowed, and I can also create, like in our conflicts. I mean, uh, it can become more of an ego thing at times rather than the whole point of self-care and nurturing and eating, I don't know, natural foods and taking care of myself. And it has to be, could do actually with relationships as well. If I'm a nurturing mother, a nurturing parent, a nurturing partner, um, it may also be good at this point to look at why is it, where is this coming from? Am I nurturing because I am literally grounded and I am aware and I am loving? Or am I nurturing somebody else because this is how I'm used to think good about myself? This is how I think that if I make myself useful or nurturing this way, I can win their love and I can be loved back. That actually can easily be translated into codependency. If I do certain things because I want to receive a particular, I don't know, more attention, more love, or I nurture you in this certain way because I want to be nurtured in this certain way, and I'm only doing this because I'm hoping to receive that back from you. That's like the recipe for codependency. Or maybe at this point it's important for you to look exactly at this. Where is my nurturing coming from? Both for myself. Am I nurturing to myself in certain ways, or taking care of myself in certain ways because I'm self-righteous, or because I'm bypassing, sort of like, here I am, this light being and warrior, and I'm doing all these things as a lifestyle because I feel better than other people? Or is it truly coming from a place of self-love, connection with the self, and discovery of um of actually the shadow? And why also, like with the Queen of Pentacles here with the Devil, it can also literally be learning how to nurture my shadow self, learning how to integrate my shadow self within my daily awareness. And we can do this by connecting to the body, by connecting to the earth, by connecting with the, like, finding safety within our body, within our breath, within our physical sensations. Safety enough to look at the mind a little bit and detect the shadow self, detect where my mind is sabotaging me, or where my mind is acting out of fear and it's like going on repeat mode, telling me stories. You can do this from the safety of this nurturing, uh, by nurturing yourself and by going into your body, feeling safe and nurtured within yourself, within your body. If I'm just like completely disconnected and ungrounded and I stay in my mind, and here I am, analysis mode, let's see why my patterns are like this, let's see what is the thought pattern that I'm moving away from, all that, you're just giving the power to the devil. You give your mind the power to overrun, to run in circles. This is why it needs to be from come from a grounded place. And this is moving you to this Knight of Wands is fast moving energy. This is taking you to a place of wish fulfillment with the Nine of Cups, right? Nine of Cups is about, okay, what is it that I wish for, and having it, having that wish being fulfilled. Um, Oh, the Knight of Wands going in there has to do like a sort of like growth on a spiritual side, on your um being able to put action into the world because you're more centered to your what really excites you. And we can also look at the personality, maybe like borrowing some of the attributes of this Knight of Wands, which is very experimental energy. Somebody who goes into uh, action immediately, travels a lot. It's Sagittarius energy, by the way. Is when you're like you're excited and you're open to experiment. You're not necessarily the most dependable person that holds their ground forever. You go places and you have the experience and you learn through experience. And I think you're learning through experience by being grounded, by seeing like where is it that you've been giving power to your shadow self rather than like allowing it in. By allowing yourself to go through this process of nurturing and look inside and look at the mind from body place, from the safety of the body, this gives you this tremendous energy and excitement to move towards what is it that you really wish for. And there you go, you got the Magician of Death card, the Magician of the Death card. The Death card, in as you know, is all about transformation. It's all about like allowing a part of ourselves to kind of like die. And it has to do not with the shadow self, really, not with the truth, like whatever our awareness is more. It's allowing one of those patterns to the defense mechanisms that we put in the way of looking at the shadow self. The shadow self is literally a part of us that we can't see. It's a blind spot. We don't see it because we don't want to see it, because it's fucking scary, because it hurts. Death is that place where you let the shield down and you allow for that particular pattern that developed in a persona, that developed in a strategy, to avoid that pain, to avoid looking at that part that scares you, which actually, by the way, drives you. But by allowing that part of you to stop acting, the shield, really, you become the magician. You are in action mode. You are in the place of starting fresh, starting anew from your own power. And in I can easily read this also like allowing the shadow side of the magician is that can also be the trickster, just playing tricks and stuff. Uh, with the death card coming here with the magician, it can be also a death of you tricking yourself. That, yeah, exactly. It's like that whole shadow, like the whole, sorry, the letting go of that pattern, right? Letting go of that defense mechanism that you kept in place. It also means that you stop tricking yourself. You stop believing the illusions that you tell yourself. We can be so easily delusional, when in the way we uh, interact with ourselves. And that's absolutely normal. We all do this. We are trying our best to be honest with ourselves most of the time, but it's so easy to miss out on what is it that whatever the shadow part of ourselves is doing, the unconscious mind, the one that's not into our awareness. And our mind is just always going to play trick on us in order to not see it. But it becomes like we get the depth of that. It's not going to be comfortable, but it also reveals the the bright side of the magician. Brightest of them all is that he's a manifester. He's like he has everything on the table here, and he's able to manifest and create anything. He's the creator of his own universe, right? Of his own world. And by allowing the trickster side of it to die, by allowing the shadow to be brought into the light, this is where the transformation comes in. And what a better place to be, or but what better way to do that actually than for the Hermit energy. The Hermit energy is taking you exactly there. And by the way, the Hermit is your card. This is your energy, Virgo. And the King of Pentacles is also it's Earth energy, so it can also be you. It can also be representing you and your very grounded self, but in a different way than the Queen of Pentacles. This is like more of a fatherly figure, but having them both coming in, it feels also a little bit like mothering and fathering yourself here, in order to have the faith and to have the strength to look into what is it that scares you the most within yourself. And see, this is what the Hermit does. He's like going there up on the top of the mountain, and he's investigating, and he's taking goes into the darkest parts of his psyche, of his self, and he brings hope there. He has the star here in this I don't know how to call this. Well, he carries the star, and he lights up the darkness with the star. The star card is hope. The star card is healing. The star is about, in the major arcana, it's right after the tower, and it shows the healing and the hope and the guidance that comes from the universe once that very destructive energy of the tower can come in. And the Hermit here comes with that ray of hope and light into the darkest corners of your psyche. And you can do that by spending some time alone and by really, really committing a little bit, again, from a very grounded place, to take this ride within yourself, to take this journey, and to meet your own inner demons, to meet what is it that you're most afraid of, and meet that with hope and with kindness, and use that whole energy that you of the Queen of Pentacles that you can find yourself in, not in this like codependent way, but rather to nurture yourself, truly nurture yourself and meet yourself where you're at. And these two cards that popped out earlier were the Queen of Swords and the Three of Cups, yeah? And I think that the Queen of Swords is also coming here to kind of reinforce this whole story of like cutting the bullshit that we tell to ourselves, letting go of this magician, the trickster side of the magician, and letting go of the fears and the defense mechanisms that we put in place in order to not look at our darker self. This is what the Queen of Swords is here for, to tell you that you can cut through the bullshit. She's all about communication of the truth, and she knows, she's been everywhere in the darkest places. That's how she's become so strong and so clear-minded. And with the Three of Cups here, I feel like you actually have a support network. Go and benefit from that. Allow yourself to spend time with your friends, share with your friends from a heart place, from share your emotions, and cherish these relationships, because celebrate your relationships doesn't necessarily mean by drinking and necessarily partying. It could be that as well if you feel like. Doesn't feel low though with all this energy here. But it's more like really cherish and celebrate the real relationships that you've got in your life, the that friendly love and that support that you can have from your whatever your soul family is. It's a beautiful, beautiful energy, Virgo. I think you have everything that you need in order to go through this journey. It is a little bit rough, it is a little bit scary, dealing with the shadow self, allowing this transformation to happen without resisting aren't easy. Do know though that you have also the energy, you have more clarity also with the Queen of Swords. You have a support group, and it is time to move on. You're doing it already. This is more of a roadmap for you to kind of see more clearly the energy, and those of you that really connect with this, and this is where you find yourself in, then understand that this process is normal and just surrender, allow the death to come through, the death of the pattern, the death of mm, a way of being, I suppose, a way of showing up for yourself, or a way of not showing up for yourself or for the others, the way you nurture, the way you connect, the way you mother maybe other people. Okay, Virgo, have an amazing July, and thank you for being here, and I'll see you here next time.